I remember when I was just a little lad, maybe 6 or 7, no pun intended, years old, and I remember my uncle was playing a game on the PlayStation 2, a legendary console. A game where a little gray and red man in a skirt was swinging these chained blades around that were on fire and just slaughtering everything in his path as he screams and takes on colossi that are far greater than him. And yet, he wins every time. Even when he dies, he wins. And just watching the gameplay of God of War 2 as a little guy was so cool. Like, I like the action set pieces. It was awesome. It was super cool. Maybe a little inappropriate, but I turned out fine. Here's the thing, though. That series went on hiatus for a bit after God of War 3 and returned in 2018 with a whole new look. Fundamentally, the game actually still plays very similar to original God of War if you played those games. Like, the combos are the same, so a lot of movement abilities are the same. They've switched controls, but, like, do light, heavy. Do it. Like, compare it in both games with, like, the Blades of Chaos. It's the same moves. Though they have made it more of a Souls-like than a arcadey, combo building beat-em-up kind of thing. And this game leaned a lot heavier into the story. Not to say there weren't story elements and character arcs in the original game. They were PlayStation 2 games. They were heavily limited in a lot of ways. I mean, the length of cutscenes, the length of dialogue in said cutscenes because of audio compression was massively, it was an imposition on PlayStation 2 games. You will see a lot of people claim, the storytelling and the original God of War games was immaculate. People undercredit it. And I think to a degree people don't give it enough credit, but let's also not delude ourselves. We're talking about PlayStation 2 games here. You had to get really creative to tell a good story on that platform. Like, just trying to make a movie game, like what we had in the PS3, PS4, PS5 era, like your Last of Us, your Until Dawn type stories, you couldn't really pull that off as well on the PS2. There were examples, it was done, but not often. And so with this new take on God of War, it leaned a lot heavier into the story, and we pick up with a Kratos who's older and wiser and has a son and a newly dead wife. And in the newest 2 games, we follow Kratos' journey with his son after, mourning his dead wife, Laufey, who we learn a lot about, and she's very important to the story. Like very important to the story. Oh, Final Fantasy is a good example of early games that actually managed to pull off a cinematic experience through cutscenes, by the way. But they were very limited on the dialogue because technological limitations. They had to get creative with it. Anyway, as I was saying, though, God of War came back with a new look and a new vibe, and was very successful in doing so. God of War 2018 was a massive hit, and it's really fun to go back to even today. I might even load up a save after stream today. But God of War Ragnarok, that came out a few years ago, the sequel, which is just a direct follow-up to 2018, well, I loved it, and I think most fans loved it. The broader gaming community saw it as a little bit samey to the last one. They were expecting it to be very obviously visually different and not just a massively expanded version of the first game's mechanics and look and feel. And some people were a little disappointed by the fact that, I'm going to be real, it feels like the last quarter of the game had some cut content, some rush, some crunch time maybe. That whole lead up and the events unfolding of the Battle of Ragnarok had a little bit of disjointedness, like certain scenes were cut out that were meant to transition us into other ones that just aren't there. And so you end up with this with a game that is a little bit underwhelming in some areas. God of War Ragnarok, I wouldn't say it's bad. The worst part of it, I will say, is the Ironwood section. It's great on a first playthrough because it's like slow and quiet and you're like invested in Atreus and like, come on Atreus, spit your game, buddy, spit your game. I believe in you, little guy. But at the same time, it's like, okay, when I replay this game, I am going to suffer through this whole sequence. And yeah, people do not like replaying Ragnarok because of that Ironwood segment. And understandably so. It is not skippable, and it is slow. And not full of action at all. It is a very, very slow portion of the game. So God of War Ragnarok didn't end up selling, or I guess, to be fair, it's a lot younger than 2018, so it might end up doing as well, but as of now, it's not quite as huge of a performer as God of War 2018. It's still one of the biggest Sony releases literally ever. It's not going to call it a flop or anything, but God of War 2018 just did better. And so, as you can imagine, the right saw an opportunity. add a narrative here. And they deliberately attacked God of War Ragnarok even before it released. There was a lot of discourse about how Thor being fat was anti-white men or something like that. It was ridiculous. There was so many unhinged right-wing attacks on God of War Ragnarok, so much so that I assumed if there was ever another God of War game, these people aren't going to pretend like they were cool with the last one and now this next one is just going woke, right? Well, I was wrong. I was wrong, because a few days ago we got the announcement of the next God of War game. It is called God of War Laufey, where we directly follow the story of Laufey after her death in the afterlife. We find out what she was really up to while Kratos and Atreus were on their journey. And yeah, it's literally a God of War game where you play as basically a goddess that is a middle-aged mom. And boy, are the chuds mad about that. They can't even, dude, these people are not gamers. They can't even appreciate that that's pretty unique. We don't have a lot of games where you play as a middle-aged mom, you know? Like, why can't we have that? Why is that not allowed? Well, it's not allowed because they think she's not hot enough. They think she's too old looking, or any number of complaints that they have. And so you've got the most bottom of the barrel, chud channels like Vera Dark. I wouldn't call her the queen of pick-me's, maybe like a duchess of pick-me's, if you will, making videos complaining about, well, frankly, just people making fun of them for getting mad at the newest game, that they already canceled the last one. Why are they pretending like they're just now disgruntled fans? They already supposedly voted with their wallets and boycotted God of War Ragnarok. Now it's 2 or 3 years later and they're pretending like this game is what's betraying them? Come on. You already did this grift with the last game. I remember. Maybe their audiences don't remember, but I do. So let's check out this Vera Dark slop video on the new God of War game. Actually, it's not even on the new God of War. It's her complaining that progressives are making fun of her and other chuds for complaining. Let's watch.
Always so hilarious to me when YouTubers or developers or journalists sit and complain on social media about how people aren't just shutting up and consuming content. They need you to always agree with.
I like how that's her framing of people making fun of these of them for losing their fucking mind over a game they pretend to care about, over a franchise they pretend to be invested in. You guys call everybody a LARPer if they like a series and are woke, and meanwhile you're here getting upset that we're getting a game that directly follows up on the most interesting mystery that is yet to be answered around the Norse saga of God of War. The whole thing leaves you wondering more about Laufey and what she's done, what she's up to, what Kratos saw in her, what was she capable of, what was she even like? And yet now we're getting those answers, something that God of War fans are really hyped about, and the fake LARPing grifters are outing themselves hilariously by being upset at this game. The culture war has blinded them to the fact that this is exactly what fans wanted. AZ was heel versus babyface was worse than. I've seen his video that he openly said, if you don't like this game, you are labeled a homophobe bit. He didn't talk about the gameplay. Oh, none of them are talking about the gameplay.
Them, or else they're going to attack you, and that is exactly what is happening right now when it comes to God of War Laufey, because tons of people online are saying you guys are so miserable and you hate everything, even though that's obviously not the truth. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now,
Dude, this chick looks like you would come out of your house in the middle, like in the morning, find the street full of massacred people, and she's just there huddled over a body eating their organs. If anyone gets the reference I just made, then you're based. You're based if you get my reference.
Complaint with my channel is that I am too toxic and too negative, even though I personally live stream video games 20 plus hours a week, and most of the games I live stream on the channel I end up really loving and really enjoying, and I would say about 90% of the games that I stream in a year I rate positively, which is like a 6 or a higher. But these people will still say, oh my god, you're so negative and you're a loser.
I think you're probably taking a lot of this a bit personally, considering I don't believe the synth potato guy was even talking about you, Veridark. You're taking this oddly personally. But that aside, you guys are kind of miserable, though. Like let's be real here. Every new piece of media, you guys are scanning that shit for anything that you can call woke or find some kind of, like, you're just always looking for wrongthink. You're always looking for some kind of clue that some dev or some artist working on a new project dared to have wrongthink, dared to do wrongthink and be a little bit progressive maybe. You're always on the lookout for it, to the point where can't enjoy a piece of media that contains any of those things. Like, you'll make exceptions if you know you can't review bomb a property into oblivion, into failure. You'll make exceptions and accept a piece of media like the Backrooms, for instance, right? Like, Critical Drinker made a pro Backrooms video despite it having a female and black lead. The reason he did that was because there is no shot he could get away with being the guy who hated Backrooms. He would lose half of his audience. Especially the kind of YouTuber he is, he attracts an audience of people who just want to hear, what is the current bandwagon opinion on this piece of media for the internet? Like, what do I need to say for it to sound like that I actually watched this and I came up with my own opinion? They're looking for that to be given to them. And those people make it miserable to try and enjoy anything new. They really are miserable.
And you're a terrible person simply because I make informative videos and I try to let people know situations, even if these individuals like Synth Potato, the Alyssa Mercantes, don't like it. And over the past few days, a lot of people have been talking about the new God of War game, Laufey. There's been a lot of criticisms, a lot of memes. These people are very offended by the God of War laundry image that has been circulating, but now they are saying things like this.
What she's referring to, the God of War laundry thing, is a bunch of AI slop videos they've been generating of Laufey doing housewife things, or literally giving birth. It has delved into AI generated fetish content at this point, but yeah, dude, AI is like was the best thing that ever happened to these people. They talk about like AI videos like they're actual effort posts. Like, if she was talking about a rash of really good, well-made, like, effort meme posts on this, I would understand why she's, like, talking about it proudly. But she's talking about there being a bunch of AI-generated memes, and it's like, yeah, a bunch of people typed word for word something into a prompt thing. Like, it's almost sadder that instead of making it, they typed out what they wanted. Like, they were like, no, her ass isn't fat enough, make her ass fatter, like in the prompt line, right? Like, the fact that they had to type out what they wanted it to make is almost sadder than if they edited something together with real artistic skill.
Being anti-woke has got to be the most miserable hobby. Everything angers you and makes you seethe that you can't enjoy a single piece of media. We haven't gone by a week without those people melting down an insane level of sensitivity, and it's so funny that they say this, but yet they will not call out the leftists online who do just that. They will try to get people to boycott games that they don't like.
Which ones? Hogwarts Legacy? You realize it's been 6 years since then, right, Veridark? It's been 6 whole years?
Based on their reasons. They will write articles trying to bury products because, oh my gosh, the developers...
She's describing what the right does right now, by the way, not what the left does.
...don't have their political opinion. Oh my god, the developers dared to not make a political statement. Oh my god, the developers didn't add pronoun options.
Sorry, not 2020. It was like 3 years ago. Sorry. Still, it was a while ago.
Or top surgery scar toggles. Oh my gosh, they would dare to go from body type 1 and 2 to male and female. These people get offended by everything. Someone like me, right? I am always described as anti-woke, and I personally don't mind the labels. I don't care if you call me a sexist or a isterophobe. I genuinely do not care.
I don't believe her. I have a feeling there's a lot of videos on her channel of her being like, they're calling me racist, and they're calling me homophobic, and they're calling me transphobic, but... And crying about being canceled, crying about getting a bunch of hate on Twitter for being a chud. And now I guarantee you she's made multiple videos like that, and now she's like, I really don't care. I really don't care. If these people didn't care, frankly, if she didn't care, she wouldn't even be making this video. You're actually doing the, I don't care about this, guys. I don't care about this, guys, in your 10-minute exactly video for mid-roll ads. Like, why are you reminding us that you're a grifter? That at best you don't actually care about this and just made a 10-minute long video to get your mid-roll ads and that's it for you. Like, that's all you care about. Like, why is that the best? Why do you want that to be the best defense for why you're so gay and cringe? Gay affectionately. We all know. We all know. Every conservative is a closet case. I'm sorry, but it's true.
No point to calling me those things simply because you have used and abused those labels so much that they mean nothing now, and you just throw them at people you don't like and hope that they stick. These people do not understand that channels like mine exist.
She does not know enough rhetoric to be able to say they use the word racist as a thought-terminating cliche, right? Like, she doesn't know that there is a word or a phrase for what she is calling the word racist, and I don't even necessarily disagree, but something can simultaneously be used as a thought-terminating cliche argument while also being an accurate label that can be utilized for the sake of what value and utility it has.
Because I love video games. I love the entertainment that I talk about. I love the potential that the industry has, and I loved what it was. I hope that one day we can go back to the good old days of gaming, and there's...
How old are you? What are you talking about? I missed the good old return to what? Halo 3?
Still plenty of amazing video games that release every single year, but I would love for the majority of them to be fantastic, and unfortunately they aren't anymore. But the reason why I criticize developers and creatives and companies is because I want them to do better. I criticize 343, which is of course now just Halo Studios, because
okay, I swear I don't pre-watch. I swear I don't know why it keeps happening. I don't know why it keeps happening, guys. I swear I am not pre-watching these videos. I'm not. I swear to God. Halo is on my mind because there's a new Halo game coming out, and we were talking about the bisexual lighting drama earlier. I just use that as an example. That's crazy.
Because I used to love
It's 2 for
Halo,
2.
and I want them to go back to their glorious days. I criticize BioWare because Knights of the Old Republic is one of my favorite video games ever, and that did diversity amazingly, and I wish that they could just go back to those days. I criticize Obsidian because they've made so many good games. I don't criticize just because I want to hate everything. And so people like this don't like when you happen to say this product...
I don't know, it seems like you're very offended by this specific call out in particular. Like, you've been on a 4-minute rant trying to debunk the idea that you don't hate every new thing, but your entire channel is just you hating every new piece of media. There are no... you can't just upload videos that are like, this piece of media is great. The only way you can actually praise something new is if it is in direct competition, or at least it's framed as in direct competition, with something you're against, something you are rooting on to fail.
Doesn't look good. Mr. Maddie has been getting wrecked over the past few days for the same exact reason, basically saying, you guys are all so negative and I don't think I want to make this content for you anymore. And forced positivity is truly worse than negativity.
Chat, you guys fucking ruined it again, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
what you're seeing here is probably just a normal gamer guy who doesn't really get into politics, but has a generally pretty right-leaning gamer guy audience. And he's probably like an ongoing fan of the God of War series, and it's like, oh shit, new God of War, yo! And he's excited because he's a gamer and not a culture war fighter, political guy. And his chat is just full of these like brain-rotted like chuds who are like, oh, the game's garbage, the game's garbage. He's like, guys, I'm a game streamer. I'm a huge God of War fan. I just want to play the new game. That's sad. That's sad. This is actually, if you're not retarded, this is a great example of how the anti-woke mindset ruins gaming. Because, like, you've got a chat that's, like, freaking out at this streamer who does games for being happy that a new game in the franchise that he's excited for is coming out. And, like, the whole chat is just full of people ripping on him for liking it. It's like, come on, man. Like, is this really, like, what we want gaming to be? I guess it's what they want it to be.
just like, I don't even know if I want to do these showcase streams anymore. I'm gonna be real.
So keep in mind, this is during the State of Play event. And so he is sitting here on a live stream telling people to their faces that he is annoyed with them, he doesn't respect them, and that he doesn't want to do his job anymore.
Oh, but you're not mad, though. You're definitely not triggered.
it was a justifiably like annoying showcase, but I just see people getting mad at like the dumbest shit. Like the problem with the game isn't because you play as a fucking woman. Just didn't, I don't know. It didn't look different enough from.
God forbid somebody has.
He's not even defending the game outside of just saying like, why are people mad about like he's only calling out the people that are mad about it being a woman. He's not even defending the game from criticism over the game itself.
Have an opinion that is different than yours. Individuals like Mr. Matty Plays hate when you are not in line with them, when your opinions are not the same as theirs. And this is what they do. They go online and they throw hissy fits.
Like I guess God of War to like justify this whole kind of redoing like new approach to it. I thought the aerial combat looked fine, but I mean that was a big showing for, I don't know. I felt kind of flat during.
I like how she's framing this guy as having a hissy fit, yet she's the one speaking with the whiny voice and complaining and also saying, I'm not mad, guys, I'm not mad. And this guy in the video is like leaned back in his chair, comfortable, shoulders are relaxed, you know? And he's speaking very like chill and monotone. He's not even slightly emotional. And he's just saying, I just think people are being a bit crazy. And she's like, he's whining in the chat. It's like, dude, you are the one whining right now. Are you crazy? Are you blind? Are you deaf? Are you Helen Keller?
Most of it, but again.
So I think you get the point, is that he's just very bothered by the fact that people are criticizing this game, and he expected the reaction to be more positive, and so now he's a little bit offended by it. I also have been making a few posts online about the media response, and I did another video, it will be linked down below, but you have articles like this releasing. Sexist losers are big mad that Kratos takes a backseat to Faye in God of War Laufey. God of War Laufey has already—
We're not mad, guys. We're definitely not mad. In fact, we don't even care. 6 minutes into her rant.
become a culture war disaster. Here we go. Again, maybe if you actually kept a God of War game focused on a God of War in this—
Does she know? Why are they all so low res? I hate modern internet, bro. Dude, why is Google Images so bad now? Here are all the results you need in 260p. No, like actually, what is this, dude? Give me a single non-fuzzy result. Jesus, it's all Instagram posts. Why? It's all downscaled Instagram. Stop. Okay, this is the best I can do. Where, oh my god, and then you click to see the image and you go to the page and it's not there. I actually hate the modern internet so fucking bad. Google sucks so much now. All I can do is show you the Google image results. I can't even bring up a full screen of it. Like, I can't. Google sucks too much now. I can't bring up a full screen. These two are respectively, I believe on the right, it's the Mongolian God of War, or a Mongolian God of War, and the Egyptian, or an Egyptian God of War on the left. So there's literally two gods of war in this one. So, yeah, it's kind of, we're 2 for 2 with Ragnarok. Ragnarok had 2 gods of war in it as well. So, good one, Veridark.
this case, it would be Kratos.
This reminds me a lot, like, legitimately, like, Assassin's Creed games, their stories suck, like, 2 times as much to experience if you don't know much of the history around its setting. Like, literally, I would say something like 60% of an Assassin's Creed game's story is knowing the actual historical context of where it takes place, and the more you know about, like, the story, the better it tends to be. The more you're going to enjoy the story and the setting, etc. Even if most people consider it a weaker Assassin's Creed, you might find yourself surprised if it's an area of history that you're extra knowledgeable in, because there's going to be a lot for you to appreciate, especially in the writing. This reminds me of how, like, Assassin's Creed fans will shit on a new AC game when they're playing it because they don't know any of the historical context of when it takes place or where it is, and then, like, years later they come back to it, they know more about the setting, and then all of a sudden they're like, wow, this game was really underrated. It reminds me a lot of that. Like, this lady saw the God of War Laufey trailer and was like, this looks like garbage, assuming she's not just fully lying about her opinion and grifting. A lot of people saw that trailer and were like, this looks like garbage. They didn't know what those two characters were. The two, like, heavily prominent characters there are the Egyptian and Mongolian gods of war, and they don't know. They probably just think they're two random monsters or something, and they're like, why does this game even exist? Because they don't even know the pantheon that it's focusing on. I think it's fair to say you probably aren't the best person to take the opinion of on an upcoming game release if you are unable to identify the pantheon of gods that you're meant to be hyped about. It'd be like if you knew nothing about Greek mythology and played God of War 1, 2, and 3, and were like, who's this Zeus guy? You know what I mean? Like, why do I care about this guy? King of the gods? So? Who cares?
Most people would be happy. If you had explained to us and their idea was, I don't know, 50% of the game or 75% of the game was her, but you were going to have Kratos sections, you were going to meet back.
Kratos literally shows up in the trailer. It seems to imply we might actually have a Kratos section or two in the game, or less so that you play as Kratos, more that you're going to encounter him. My theory is that when Kratos went into the light of Alfheim, he actually had a brief, real meeting with Laufey, and we're going to experience that from Laufey's POV, because we never saw what happened to Kratos in the light, other than like him walking around and following the music. I think he actually encountered her there, and we're gonna see like Laufey's POV. I think it's gonna happen.
Up with Kratos. There was going to be something with Kratos. People might have responded differently, but...
What do you mean people? Because it ain't the fans that are upset. Are we pretending like unanimous negativity is the response to this game? Because like all the big God of War people, all the gaming YouTubers are that like whose job it is to be a gamer, all the people who actually play these games are excited. It's all the Twitter accounts and right-wing YouTubers that are on cue complaining about it that are mad. So are we really pretending like this is organic? Really? Really?
What we got here was just not what people expected, not what people wanted. And when you hear the dialogue with the talking cube sword ribbon named Frank, which is...
This lady has not played 2018 or Ragnarok. Kratos is the only character that does not speak in modern vernacular in the new God of War games. Even Odin, he talks like a fucking mafia boss.
So cringe. You see the way that Faye is responding, like, I'm not your boss, Frank, and that doesn't sit well with people. Of course, the response isn't going to be overwhelmingly positive. Heading back to the Synth Potato thread, there are quite a few community notes that are put on it.
Or stop destroy gaming with women's interests. I like how she has to scroll past that one. Okay, very dark. Good one. Good one, Queen. Absolutely own those wokeists. That's right. Remember, folks, the people who actually play the games are all tourists. The Twitter hate accounts are the real fans.